1 Samuel 22. So David left there and escaped to the cave of Adullum. When his brothers and the rest of his father's family learned about it, they went down there to him. All those who were in trouble and owed someone money or were discontent gathered around him, and he became their leader. He had about 400 men. Then David went from there to Mizpah in Moab, where he said to the king of Moab, "Please let my father and my mother stay with you until I know what God is going to do for me." So he had them stay with the king of Moab. They stayed with him the whole time that David was in the stronghold. Then Gad the prophet said to David, "Don't stay in the stronghold. Go to the land of Judah." So David left, and he went to the forest of Hereth. But Saul found out the whereabouts of David and the men who were with him. Now Saul was sitting at Gibeah under the tamarisk tree at the elevated location with his spear in his hand and his servants stationed around him. Saul said to his servants, "Listen up, you Benjamites. Is Jesse's son giving fields and vineyards to all of you, or is he making all of you commanders and officers? For all of you have conspired against me. No one informs me when my own son makes an agreement with the son of Jesse. Not one of you feels sorry for me or informs me that my own son has commissioned my own servant to hide in ambush against me, as is the case today." But Doeg the Edomite, who had stationed himself with the servants of Saul, replied, "I saw the son of Jesse come to Ahimelek, son of Ahitub, at Nob. He inquired of the Lord for him and gave him provisions. He also gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine." Then the king arranged for the meeting with the priest Ahimelek, son of Ahitub, and all the priests of his father's house who were at Nob. They all came to the king. Then Saul said, "Listen, son of Ahitub." He replied, "Here I am, my lord." Saul said to him, "Why have you conspired against me? You and this son of Jesse, you gave him bread and a sword and inquired of God on his behalf, so that he opposed me and waits in ambush, as is the case today." Ahimelek replied to the king, "Who among your servants is faithful like David? He is the king's son-in-law, the leader of your bodyguard, and honored in your house. Was it just today that I began to inquire of God on his behalf? Far be it from me. The king should not accuse his servant or any of my father's house, for your servant is not aware of all of this, not in whole or in part." But the king said, "You will surely die, Ahimelek, you and your father's house." Then the king said to the messengers who were stationed behind them, "Turn and kill the priest of the Lord, for they too have sided with David." They knew he was fleeing, but they did not inform me. But the king's servants refused to harm the priest of the Lord. Then the king said to Doeg, "You turn and strike down the priest." So Doeg the Edomite turned and struck down the priest. He killed on that day 85 men who wore the linen ephod. As for Moab, the city of the priests, Doeg struck down men and women, children and infants, oxen, donkey, and sheep, all with the sword. But one of the sons of Ahimelek, son of Ahitub, escaped and fled to David. His name was Abiathar. Abiathar told David that Saul had killed the priest of the Lord. Then David said to Abiathar, "I knew that day when Doeg the Edomite was there that he would certainly tell Saul, 'I am guilty of all the deaths in your father's house. Stay with me. Don't be afraid. Whoever seeks my life is seeking your life as well. You are secure with me.'" So David left there and escaped to the cave of Adullum. So he is warned, and he he leaves. He goes to the cave of Adullum from the king. He escapes there. He doesn't go into Gath. He tries to go over there, has to pretend to be a madman. He goes to Adullum. When his brothers and the rest of his family learned about this, they went down to him. Why do they go down to him? Because Saul is going to kill the whole family. It's not because now they trust in David necessarily. I'm saying his brothers. Remember how his brothers treated him. However, maybe after his victories, maybe they treat him differently. We get nothing about them and their relationship anymore. So it could be either way. They're joining up sides or they're coming to him because they're going to die anyway. So, and his father's family. So his mother, his brothers, his dad, whoever is still alive comes there. They went down there to him. All those who were in trouble and owed someone money and were discontented gathered around him, and he became their leader. He had about 400 men. So we have people who start hearing about David gathering up. So those who are bitter of soul is discontented. Yeah, they owe someone money. They're in trouble. Like he's getting a mob here. He's getting hooligans, whatever term you want. Maybe they have some background of professional army. Maybe they're just thugs. Whatever it is, they're gathering to David because he's an attractive person to follow. Then David went from there to Mizpah in Moab, where he said to Moab, please let my father and mother stay with you until I know that what God is going to do for me. So Edom is one of the descendants of Abraham. Edom is going to be in betrayal mode here. Moab is also a descendant or relative of Abraham through Lot. So he goes to Moab to seek peace. Can you protect my family? Why would they want to do this? Let me tell you, if you can get a mighty warrior to owe you a favor, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't the king of Moab want to? Because there's a relationship there. Maybe going to Gath wasn't the right plan. Why did he go to Gath and then leave? Not sure. Not sure. So he had them stay with the king of Moab, and they stayed the whole time that David was in the stronghold. Then Gad the prophet said to David, don't stay in the stronghold. Go to the land of Judah. So David left and went to the forest of Hereth. So the stronghold, in the cave, leave the cave. Your parents are safe. Go to Judah. You're going to be safe there because Judah is going to more protect you than any place else. But Saul found out the whereabouts of David and the men who were with him. So Saul was sitting at Gibeah under the tamarisk tree in the elevated location with a spear in his hand. Like, yeah, he's in the elevated location. Like, I'm up here and proper. I'm all up here. Saul said to his servants, listen, you Benjamites. Apparently just going to be the Benjamites who are going to gather to Saul. Well, he's of their tribe, so that would make sense. Is Jesse's son giving fields and vineyards to all of you, or is he making you commanders and officers? Like, I have power to do real stuff. I have power to give things away. For all of you have conspired against me. Not one of you informs me. My own son makes an agreement with the son of Jesse. Not one of you feels sorry for me or informs me that my own son commissioned my own servant to hide in ambush against me, as it is the case today. So you knew about this. He's paranoid again. Again, he's petty. He's self-centered. He has, inferiority issues towards other people. A suspicion. It's like, the dude is unstable, and we need to get rid of him. Really. Like, this guy's been bad from the beginning. Oh, but this is what you wanted. This is who you wanted. You got what you wanted. How's that working out for you? How's that working out for you? But then Doeg the Edomite, who we were worried about, I saw the son of Jesse come to Ahimelek, son of Ahitub. He inquired of the Lord for him and gave him provisions. He inquired of the Lord for him. We didn't have that in the story. I don't believe it's false, because when we have Ahimelek come in and he says, this isn't the first time I've inquired of the Lord for David. So we don't know what he inquired of the Lord of David for. Was it, will I be successful on my mission? Could have been a yes or no thing without Ahimelek knowing more information. It could have been something along those lines. So he does apparently inquire of the Lord for David, which, if it was something like that, will my mission that I have shared be successful? Yes, it will be successful. Good. You know, so it would have been an inquiry of the Lord. It wouldn't have changed anything. It probably wasn't, where should I go hide? Because now Ahimelek is going to know information. Ahimelek knows nothing. He's been deceived. Even if he inquired of the Lord did not reveal it to him. David straight up lying to you, brah. He doesn't reveal that. Then the king arranged to meet the priest Ahimelek, son of Ahitub, and all the priests of his father's house who were at Nob. Like, oh my goodness, bring every single priest here? Why? It's not necessary. Why are you bringing everybody here, bro? He brings everybody in. And Saul's like, why have you conspired against me and against the son of Jesse? You gave him bread and a sword and inquired of God on his behalf so that he's opposed to me and waits to ambush me, as is the case today. Ahimelek replied to the king, who among your servants is faithful like David? Like, all my evidence is this. He is a king's son-in-law. He's faithful. He's a son-in-law. He's in your bodyguard, and he's honored in your house. That's my information. Was it just today that I began to inquire on God on his behalf? Like, and I've also inquired of God many times. It's not just a new thing. Far be it from me. The king should not accuse his servant or any of his father's house, for your servant is not aware of this, not in whole or in part. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. How is he fleeing? Not in small, not in great. I know nothing. Nothing. But the king said, you will surely die, Ahimelek, you and all your father's household. Then the king said to the messengers who were stationed beside them, turn and kill the priest of the Lord, for they too have sided with David. They knew he was fleeing, but they did not inform me. But the king's servants refused to harm the priest of the Lord, as they should. As they should. So they're not going to harm the priest. Like, hey, the priest conspired. Like, dude, you're paranoid. There's no evidence. In fact, they did not. They did not. Then the king said to Doeg, you turn and strike down the priest. He's an Edomite. He's not necessarily following God. He's just hired for doing the work. I have more work. Great, I'll do more work. So he strikes down the priest. He killed 85 men who wore the linen ephod. So 85 priests. What do we have here? The number is confused in the Greek tradition. The LXX, with the exception of the Lucian recension, has the number 305. The Lucianate recension, along with a couple of old Latin manuscripts, have the number 350. So killed everybody except one, so it doesn't matter how many. As for Nob, the city of the priest, Doeg struck down the men and the women, children and infants, oxen, donkeys, and sheep, all with the sword. Does Doeg have other men with him? I don't know. It'd be hard to imagine all of these people just stand there and let themselves be killed, so I assume Doeg has some people with him. But one of the sons of Ahimelek, son of Ahitub, escaped and fled to David. His name was Abiathar. Abiathar told David that Saul had killed the priest. Then David said to Abiathar, I knew the day that Doeg the Edomite was there, that he would certainly tell Saul, I am guilty of all the deaths in your father's house. So David is like, I knew when I saw him, he would be trouble. I should have done something about it. There probably was, I would have tipped my hand off immediately to Ahimelek if I had, so I didn't, and I knew it, so the deaths are on my hand. David is going to take the disgrace of this, and personally, but he is going to protect. So stay with me. Don't be afraid. Whoever seeks my life is seeking your life as well. You're secure with me. So the only safe place is if we stay together. So if I'm able to stay alive and keep myself protected, you'll be protected. You go somewhere else, you're on your own. I will protect you. I'm sorry that I cost your father's household so many lives. It's pretty horrible when you think about it.